Xander, where are we in camp right now? What week are we on?
Maybe 4 into camp already. 4 moving, but because
Straight. Come on inside.
Should I do that? Straight. Yeah. Right on. Good. Come back, though. That's good.
Nice, right? Nice. Over and under, right there. Over and under with that same hand, right there. Yeah, turn it. Turn your hip with it. Do it again. Go take that hip with it. That's it. Do it again. Come back with the hook.
With under 4 weeks remaining until one of the year's biggest super welterweight matchups, Jaron, Boots, Ennis, and Xander Zayas are putting in intense work inside the gym as they push toward peak condition ahead of fight night. Zayas has often been teased by Boots over his larger frame and soft physique, though he has tightened his conditioning and added size during preparation for this showdown. On the other side, Ennis appears extremely defined and threatening, carrying a shredded physique that could help him withstand incoming punches and jabs on fight night. At the same time, he is sharpening his attacking arsenal, showing signs of a ruthless edge emerging. His training camp footage highlights the serious power he is bringing into this contest, as both fighters refine every detail before the bout draws closer each day. Ennis and Zayas present a clear stylistic matchup, blending unpredictable creativity against controlled precision. Ennis operates as a highly explosive, athletic attacking force, smoothly alternating between orthodox and southpaw positions. He manages distance through a varied, layered jab, but becomes equally dangerous when closing in, relying on his toughness and rapid reactions to throw fast multi-angle combinations. He shines in extended high-speed exchanges and sharp counterattacking moments, while Zayas takes a steadier, more calculated and disciplined approach. Operating as a junior middleweight, Zayas fights behind a disciplined, technically sharp high guard, emphasizing range management and layered feints. He studies opponents early, gathering information through precise pre-slip movements and measured body attacks designed to slowly drain energy. Instead of relying on explosive strength, he uses positioning and accurate shot selection to create mistakes, firing clean punches before slipping away at sharp defensive angles. While Ennis relies on athletic instincts to disrupt rhythm and overwhelm, Zayas depends on disciplined fundamentals to break down opponents methodically.
He's the hardest opponent in my resume to date because, again, I feel like every fight was a step into that direction. And obviously, facing somebody like Boots, former world champion, coming up to a new weight class and wanting to be the king of the weight class is obviously challenging because you know he's coming with his best, but he gotta expect the best out of me, and I promise I'm gonna bring the best version out of Xander Zayas. It's up to him. However he wants to go into this fight, the only person that is gonna pay the price is him, nobody else. Not his team, not his fans. It's only him. So if we want to underestimate the fight and he wants to half-ass it, and that's on him, that's cool with me. I know I'm putting the shifts, I know I'm putting in the work, and when it's time to go to the deep waters, I know I can swim with those sharks.
Based on the training clips emerging from both camps ahead of the bout, Jaron appears to be the more physically intimidating fighter. His added muscle mass and raw strength give the impression that he could break down any opponent once they step into the ring. Still, writing off Zayas would be a serious mistake. Although he does not carry the same size, he has a solid build capable of absorbing punishment during exchanges. On top of that, his skill set is far more advanced than many people give him credit for. Zayas also brings a strong mentality and self-belief, openly stating he has no fear of Boots. While others may see Boots as a terrifying force, Zayas views him as just another man. With that mindset, he believes he can exploit mistakes and take control of the fight when the moment arrives.
Difficulties with Boots that you identify as the most concerning to you?
There's difficulties with every fighter, to be honest. I feel like every fighter brings something different to the table, and Boots Ennis is not the exception. Boots Ennis is a good fighter. I mean, he fights righty, lefty. He takes good angles, but there's a lot of things that I know I can take advantage of.
Yeah. What about the event itself? This is going to be a huge event. I was trying to go back in time and thinking, I think it's the biggest fight involving a Puerto Rican fighter since at least Canelo Cotto.
Man, I feel like it's a great event. I feel like it's an amazing event. They have a great undercard. I feel like one of the best undercards I've seen in a minute for a pay-per-view fight, at least. And I'm excited to be the main event of that great card. So really happy for the event.
Are you at the point where the spectacle of an event is never? We saw you at the Super Bowl. My God,
Yeah.
you know. Are you at the point where none of this is gonna faze you?
At all. Like, it's like people is like really super excited, and it's like just another night at the office. I gotta go do what I do best. It's nothing new to me, you know. I've been doing it for so long. Since I'm 16 years old, I've seen everything that I need to see. I've seen big crowds, I've seen small crowds, I've seen the first couple people getting to the venue. I've seen the venue all packed out. I mean, there's nothing new. I've been swing bouts before. I know what to expect. I know it's going to be electric. I know people is going to show up and show out. They're going to show love.
Boots promoter Eddie Hearn has spoken highly of both fighters for stepping into this huge matchup without protecting their unbeaten record. He stressed that fights like this are exactly what boxing needs and expressed pride in being involved. Looking ahead to June 27, Hearn expects a highly charged atmosphere, pointing out that both men are destined for stardom regardless of the result. In his view, the winner will rise to superstar status while the defeated fighter will still remain a major major name in the sport. Speaking about the location, he explained that Barclays Center was selected simply because Madison Square Garden was unavailable. He also highlighted Brooklyn's strong Puerto Rican fan base and believes a large wave of supporters will travel from Philadelphia to back Boot. Overall, he is predicting a packed arena and an intense night, making New York the perfect stage for this high-profile clash.
In this Zayas and Boots fight, they're both going to have great fights.
Yeah, but that's what you want. Guys that aren't afraid of the O, that are willing to show how great, like, trust me when I say this place will be electric on June 27th. It'll be a massive fight. Whoever wins comes out as a superstar. Whoever loses comes out as a big star.
Can you give me your random thoughts on? Sorry, go ahead.
You know, they had the Puerto Rico thing. Xander said, "How do we end up in Brooklyn as opposed to MSG, where we used to see in Matchroom, we're used to seeing Top Rank? So how do we go from Puerto Rico and end up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York?"
Well, firstly, I think there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Brooklyn. Wasn't available on any date in June. So, you know, and I like this place. I mean, don't forget, this place has staged some massive fights over the years. It's always a good crowd. Even when I came here for Dalton Smith against Super Real Matias, I mean, it was, you know, it was quite a small show, but there was still, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 in it, and it was wild. Do you know what I mean? You imagine the whole place is full up, which it will be. So, yeah, look, I love MSG, I love Barclays Center, and I'm just pleased to be in New York because I think that's the right place. You're going to get a huge amount of Puerto Ricans coming to this fight. You're also going to get a huge amount traveling from Philadelphia. Thousands upon thousands.
Boots recently sat down for an interview with Puerto Rican journalist Brian Fana, where he delivered a firm message aimed at fans on the island expected to support Zaz. He admitted that Zaz has improved significantly and even praised his skill set as one of the strongest in the 154 pounds division. While he respects Zaz for stepping into such a major fight at a young stage in his career, Boots made it clear that his confidence remains high. He rejected any suggestion that he is underestimating his opponent, explaining that his self-belief comes from the work he has put in and his tendency to perform at his best on big occasions. Although he is not usually someone who studies opponents extensively, Boots revealed that he has been watching Zaz closely in recent outings and believes he has figured him out, hinting that the upcoming night will be far from straightforward for the Puerto Rican contender.
But he did beat Charles Conwell, and people were talking up Charles Conwell, like the boogeyman of the division. Then after that, he beat Sebastian Barrow in unification. So he got a couple nice wins coming into this, but obviously, like, he hasn't fought anyone of your level, I don't think. But do you like what you've seen from him in terms of his development the last couple fights?
Yeah, I've seen the couple fights that I did watch. Like, I don't watch guys, but I had to watch. Like, my last two fights, I don't really watch guys. But my last two, no, but my last two fights, I didn't know much about Lima, so I had to watch Lima. Okay. And I didn't really know much about Zayas until, you know, like recently. So I had to watch him. I never sat there and just turned on a fight and watched him. So I had to sort of see what he got. And but yeah, I watched him and I see a lot of things and it's going June 27th is gonna be crazy. I'm telling you now. I'm gonna show out. I'm gonna have fun.
Do you feel like, just age-wise, because he's 23, and again, going back to like him taking this fight, and some people are going to say, hey, it's a little early. For you, you're 28, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 28.
Do you feel like you need this fight more than he does at comparing the stage of his career, the stage of your career?
Do I feel like he needed more fight?
Do you feel like you need this fight?
Me?
Just because age, like he probably doesn't need to rush into this yet.
No, he definitely, like I said yesterday at the press conference, he could have chose somebody else. He had to, fight me. Yeah. I'm glad. That's why I said I'm glad he took the fight. Yeah. And I appreciate him taking the fight, but them belts come back on.
While most analysts are leaning toward Boots as the likely winner, Bernie the boxer offered a more cautious take on the matchup. He avoided making a direct prediction or dismissing either fighter, pointing out that Zaz is still very young and relatively inexperienced for a fight of this level against Andis. At the same time, Bernie responded to Boots' recent remarks questioning Zaz's ability, and he did not hold back in challenging Boots' stance. He raised doubts about the level of opposition Boots has faced recently, specifically pointing to his latest super welterweight win over Wismal Lima, suggesting that Boots may still lack deep experience at 154 pounds.
But I'm a press. I don't want to say who's going to win. I think Xander, not really that entertaining, But smart boxing can't take it away from his movement. Boxing, can't take it away from him in that situation. And definitely Boots got the flashier combinations, the flashier style, the more appealing style to your eyes. But they both been groomed well. They both good pedigree. I just want to see a great fight. I don't favor any one of them. I've been saying Boots, but I really don't favor anyone. I would just like to see them guys go on and who emerges as the number one guy.
I just listened to the interview with Boots on YSM Sports Media. He kind of doesn't really he gives respect to, Xander for giving him the opportunity. But when it comes to his skills, he feels like he could do whatever he wants to do in there. When we talk about getting rid of him or getting him out of there, he says he could do whatever he wants to do with him. He's not impressed what he sees in Xander Zayas. I mean, what do you get out of that?
Well, he's talking the talk.
Looking past him, I don't know. What do you think?
Man, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know, but with tough talk like that, he should have fought somebody better than the last kid he fought. He should have fought somebody else better than him. He should have had them guys, whatever he had to do. Take a pay cut, something. Get somebody in there more credible than the last guy fought. You talking stuff like that?
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. has also weighed in on the upcoming fight, though he stopped short of giving a direct prediction. Instead, he focused on comparing the two fighters side by side. Unlike some analysts, Jones did not write off Zayas, noting that the Puerto Rican boxer is capable of competing and could make the bout interesting. At the same time, he gave Boots the edge in overall ability, highlighting the subtle qualities and fight IQ each man brings. In his view, both fighters have certain strengths, but Boots operates on a higher level when it comes to overall skill and in-ring awareness. Jones ultimately suggested that Boots enters the contest with a clear advantage due to his more complete toolkit and greater experience at this stage.
To beat Boots, Roy, he's super confident. He thinks he can do everything Boots can do.
It's yet to be seen. It's like I said, I'm not saying he can't, because I've seen Xander, and Xander is pretty good. Intangible-wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do, because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make a adjustment. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava and came back and beat Slava, but Slava did hurt him early, but you never can tell. So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yes. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact. So I think it's going to be just a great fight, and I can't wait to see who wins.
Yeah, should be.
Former unified welterweight champion Keith Thurman has also shown strong support for Boots in his breakdown of the matchup. He pointed out that Zayas has yet to face top-level names, suggesting that this lack of elite experience could become a major factor once he shares the ring with Boots. Thurman also described Boots as a boogeyman for a reason, emphasizing the level of work he has personally seen from him in training camp. In his view, Boots consistently prepares at a very high standard and will arrive fully ready for this contest. Because of that, Thurman remains cautious about giving Zayas much of a chance to come out on top.
I like the fact that, Xander Zayas has just, been able to do what he did, and I know he's got a lot of hype right now. I think he should be riding that hype train a little bit longer, and not sure if he's ready for the toughest fight of his career, Boots' opposition in his last fight doesn't prepare him fully, for this fight. But Boots is a former champion, and Boots is young and on the grind and has been waiting to make a big statement, and this is that. You know, there's always windows and opportunities. You know, I remember when Paulie Malignaggi became world champion at 147, and I was like, who did he just fight? And then, boom, he was overseas and he was able to get a title, you know? So not only does he get to fight a champion, but he gets to fight a unified champion. You take out one and you walk away with two, you know? It's just, it's timing, you know? But we know what they say about Boots. They say he's the boogeyman, right? That's what they want to say. He's the baddest. He's everything, you know? So having the double strap on you in a elevated division coming from 147, that will fuel the hype train a lot more. But, you know, there's heavy hitters, there's some killers, and, you know, we've seen him. You know, I love his work rate. I love his training regimens. I just love his dedication, you know, and that's everything it takes to be a champion. So I lean towards him. I believe. I'm a believer. I'm a believer that he can make this happen, you know, because I'm not a full believer of Xander Zayas. Like, who he just got this belt off of, I didn't even know that guy, you know? So it's not the same. I'm very big on pedigrees. I'm very big on resumes and things of that nature. And that's the good thing about that fight, that matchup, is they, in theory, they might be the best names on each other's resume.
The boxing community has generally been hesitant to pick Zaz as the winner, although many have still praised him for showing the courage to take on such a dangerous challenge. For his part, Zaz is confident in his abilities and determined to prove himself, with plans to shock the world on June 27. Now the question remains for fans. Will this turn into a dominant display from Boots, showing there are clear levels in the sport, or are we on the verge of a major upset? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. That wraps things up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future upload. Don't forget to drop your opinions in the comments section, and we'll see you in the next one.